Hi guys, so for this video, I'm going to talk about what separates you from a pro player. I know what you're thinking, and no, the answer is not just playing the game all day long. In fact, a lot of pros do not grind the game as much as you would think. They do some of the things I'm going to mention in this video, such as VOD review, and use their time efficiently. Before we jump into that though, I'm happy to announce the channel's newest partner, Advance Club. You guys may remember Advance Club from the giveaway we did together, as well as their awesome YouTube channel, but that's not why I'm working with them again. Advance Club just recently launched their full website, which includes 4 separate classes from some of the biggest names in the game. They collaborated with Booga, Mr. Savage, Bizzle, and the GOAT coach, Speedy Gonzalez. I took a look at the classes myself, since you guys know I'm really picky on who I choose to work with, and I was absolutely blown away. These courses feature everything you could ever want from a pro, including their secret strats, their daily routines, and a look inside their minds and mentality. In addition to that, all of the classes were filmed for weeks at the pro player's house in person, and were just done recently. It's not stuff from chapter 1 like some of these other Fortnite websites. So if you're interested, I don't know why you wouldn't be, make sure to check out Advance Club through the link in the description below. One of the first and biggest things pros do that I could almost guarantee a lot of you guys do not is stay ahead of the meta. Whenever I watch top tier pros like Booga, Dubs, or Mongrel, I'm always in awe of how much better they are than everyone else. These guys are so insanely good that they make 10,000 arena point matches look like pub bot lobbies. Now you can go ahead and attribute this fact to their mechanics, their game sense, the fact they're 14 years old and cracked out on G Fuel, but the real explanation for it is that they're always one step ahead of everyone else. Take for example double movement keybinds. I first started talking about double movement binds in December of 2019. I made a video explaining what they are, talking about why I think they're useful, and teaching people how to set them up. To my surprise, nobody took me seriously. Everyone either thought double movement binds were a gimmick, or were just too lazy to get good at them. Can you guess a few people who did not do that? Yep, the tier 1 pro players like Zayt, Dubs, Stretch, and Saf. These guys started using double movement binds as soon as they were discovered. That's not it though. On top of getting accustomed to their new binds, they took double movement to the next level by training themselves to use their double movement binds as they build and edit. This was something nobody was talking about or doing anywhere else in the world. The only reason people caught onto it was because Zayt pulled them out in the Solo F and CS Grand Finals. That was the point where everyone started to learn them and optimize their keybinds around them. Something I quickly want to point out before we move on is that there's always still time to get ahead of the meta. Trust me, I know that makes no sense when you say it out loud, but just listen to my explanation. About 2 or 3 months ago when the Peace Control meta first came to be, Zen Booga was not at the forefront of it. He obviously knew what Peace Control was and why it worked, not from watching my videos, but he kept slipping back into what had worked previously, which was quick builds and edits. I actually have a few clips from my W key video where Booga nearly lost a few fights due to not prioritizing Peace Control. Fast forward to today, and Booga has some of the best Peace Control in the world. He evidently realized how important it was, started to practice with it and incorporate it into his own gameplay, and is finally beginning to see those same results when he dominated in chapter 1. Hashtag Booga fanboy. Altogether, the takeaway here is to adapt to the meta. That means watching my videos, watching other informative videos from analysts like Resub, RBK Arab, and Destiny's Jesus, analyzing top tier pros yourself, and most importantly, being open to change. Just because you know what the meta is does not mean your gameplay will automatically reflect that. You need to adjust your playstyle much like Booga did to keep up with what works season by season. It doesn't even matter how long that takes. Obviously, the earlier the better, but what matters is that you start doing what the pros do by staying ahead, or at least on top of, the meta. The second thing pros do that most of you do not is surround themselves with the right people. This probably sounds weird and you're likely a bit confused. Don't worry though, just hear me out. Back in the summer, Young Calculator started a huge debate on Twitter regarding gaming genetics. Calc said that only people with elite gamer genetics can make it as a pro player. He also said that while hard work is a big part of it, hard work cannot take you to the next level. If you want to know what I think about what Calc said, I completely disagree. I truly think anyone can become a pro as long as they put the work in. However, that is not what's important. The reason I bring up Calc's Clownboy statement is because of what other pros had to say about it. Not only did most of them agree with me and say it's a mix of genetics and hard work, but they also said that your friend group is more important than both of those things. I'm not kidding, by the way. Every top tier pro said your friend group is the most important factor in determining your success in Fortnite. Alright, does this mean you should just ditch your friends and find a new friend group? No, not really. I mean, maybe if you're friends with Young Calc, then sure, but for everyone else, you need to take a step back and reevaluate evaluate your surroundings. Let's say your goal is to become a Fortnite pro player. Do the people you sit in Discord with support that? Do they practice with you? Do they point out your mistakes? Do they do anything at all to help you accomplish your goal? If you answered yes to all those questions, then you're chilling. You seem to have a great support system that is actively driving you to the top. On the other hand, if you answered no to those questions, then it might be time to find a new Fortnite friend group.
But Jerian, what if I have no friends to begin with?
I'm sorry to hear that, little Timmy. I don't have many either. My advice is to either join a big Discord like the Turtle Gang one I run, or to go onto Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, basically any social media, and find some people to play with. The better and the more motivated people you surround yourself with, the better you'll become in a very short period of time. There's a reason why all the top tier pros are in 1 or 2 different friend groups. They know the benefits of being around other hard workers and choose to immerse themselves in that small circle. Let me make myself clear though, I'm not advising you to drop all your friends. The last thing I want is a bunch of DMs from people saying that they blocked all their friends, or that someone they were friends with had blocked them because itsJerian told them to. Do not do that. Instead, keep your friends, but don't be afraid to branch out for Fortnite. Your friends, as I just talked about, have a huge impact on your improvement, so be like the pros and surround yourself with good ones. Third thing pros do that you guys do not is one that I mentioned at the beginning: practicing efficiently. I can't even begin to tell you guys how many people I've talked to that say they practice for 8 hours a day, yet they just are not seeing results. They tell me they're doing everything that pros do, from full-on warm-ups to closed custom scrims. The thing about that is, while they're technically doing what pros do, they're not doing what's right for them. You see, unless you're consistently qualifying for major tournaments, you should not be following a pro player's daily routine. Rather, you should be copying what they did to get to that position, as well as taking my advice regarding the quickest way to get better. My recommendation here today for the vast majority of you guys is to focus your time on becoming a better fighter. Fighting and sort of W keying is the most important skill to master in Chapter 2 Season 4. It's more important than your game sense, than editing fast. It's almost more important than piece control. Almost. Seriously though, your primary goal today as a player should be to become an elite fighter. The only reason you see top tier pros playing tons and tons of scrims is because they've already mastered their fighting. Like I said at the start, they can hop into an arena match and drop a 20 bomb with ease. Non-pros like us, however, cannot. We just aren't at that level yet. And when you think about it, this is basically the age-old concept of improving what you're bad at. People who have bad aim should practice their aim. People who make bad rotates should practice their rotates. The difference here is I'm telling you all that you are not good at fighting. You may think you are because you beat your friends in Zone Wars wagers, but the truth is, unless you're a top 50 pro, you are not. Real game fights are so much different than anything else. So to sum it up in a less harsh way, unless you're always qualifying for the second rounds of tournaments, stop focusing your time in zone rule scrims. That time will be much better spent in solo arena, Zone Wars, 1v1s, where you can learn to win fights and dominate open round qualifiers. This is both itsJerian and FaZe Martas approved, so just do it. The final, and honestly the most important thing that pros do that you guys do not, is VOD review. Before you say anything, yes, I know I've talked about the importance of VOD reviewing in the past. I probably brought it up like 3 or 4 different times at this point. Be honest with me though, how many of you guys actually do it? That could be VOD reviewing yourself, VOD reviewing others. How many of you guys take the time to sit down and VOD review real Fortnite gameplay? Probably not many. Now, in case you don't know what VOD reviewing is, all it refers to is watching back and analyzing gameplay. VOD stands for video on demand and includes everything from Twitch streams to replay files to gameplay that you record onto your PC. One great example of a player you may not think VOD reviews that actually does is Unknown Army. While Unknown does not VOD review in the typical sense, aka playing and analyzing his scrims, he does something even better by watching back all of his deaths even in pub matches. I kid you not, every single time Unknown dies, he clips it through his Nvidia Shadowplay, puts it into a local folder, and finally pulls it up on his stream. His goal as he watches it is to figure out why he died, even in those rare instances when he couldn't do anything about it, and learn from the fight. This is a huge reason Unknown is so dang good at fighting. Not only are his mechanics up to par with the best of the best, but his game sense is too, because of how much he studies his mistakes and VOD reviews. One really underutilized way I've seen pros VOD review is by going into their replay files and watching back fights from their opponent's perspective. I feel like way too many people who actually VOD review end up not learning from it because they cannot identify what mistake they made. For example, let's say they peeked too long and got triple dinked and pushed. Had they only watched their perspective, then they would have just contributed that to their opponent getting good RNG. Well, guess what? That wasn't actually why. The real reason, which can only be seen from their opponent's perspective, is that they peeked too long. You see how broken this method of VOD reviewing is? So if I somehow have not made it clear, start VOD reviewing. You can VOD review yourself, VOD review top tier pros, watch analysts do VOD reviews on top tier pros. You can even do VOD reviews on VOD reviews on top tier pros. As long as you're VOD reviewing and seeing what you need to work on, you will improve, no doubt about it. Overall guys, those are the 4 major things that pros do that the rest of us do not. So if you enjoyed the video or you learned something new, do be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and to turn on my post notifications. Shout out to everyone using code itsJerian. I love each and every one of you. We are so close to 1 million subscribers, so please get everyone you know to subscribe. I really want to hit 1 million by my next video. Let's try to do it. Otherwise, that's it from me, and I will see you guys in the next one. Later.